Hey there. Well, today I'm walking through my fruit garden, looking things over. Walked over there and had a look at my blackberries, patch that I established last year, propagated by the way. And I had a look earlier at my blueberries. Blueberries are doing good, although I do need to figure something out, protect those blueberries. The birds have been beating me to them for the last few years. I used to be able to pick as many of them as I wanted, but it's like they learned they were there. They've gotten big. Today I wanted to share something with you about these pawpaws that I've got going on right here. And what I'm dealing with, other than the mosquitoes, wow, is root suckers. Now, this tree right here was a root sucker from last year, last year's graft, I'm sorry. But it came up in 2019. It grew up from the mother tree, and I went ahead and dug it up in 2019, put it out here, protected it for that year, and then last year I went ahead and grafted it. Just the largest number of trees that I have out here are from 2019 root suckers that I dug up. There's quite a few of the root suckers out here. I do have some seedlings, but for the most part, I've dealt with root suckers. Like I said, this is an NC1. This one here is an NC1 root sucker. And this one right here, it's a seedling. That seedling right there came from a greenhouse where I had purchased it, and it was a seedling that was started in 2016. So right now, we're looking at a 5-year-old tree. I bought that tree in 2018, planted it elsewhere on the property, and when I decided to start my own fruit garden, I dug it back up in 2019 and planted it right there. And that one too was grafted last year. 5-year-old tree. You know, I've been an advocate for digging up root suckers for quite some time, and I've shared a lot of posts about digging up root suckers and caring for them, transplanting them, how to take care of them, and protecting them, and all that good stuff. But anyways, I'm standing here, and the one thing I will tell you, I'm looking at my pawpaw patch. I have a number of root suckers out here, and like this one, NC1 root sucker. All these trees in this fruit garden was grafted last year, 2020. And like I said, NC1 root sucker. I've got a tree right there that you can't see is a sunflower root sucker. Mango seedling. Overlease root sucker. NC1 root sucker. Sunflower root sucker. NC1 root sucker. NC1 root sucker. Mango root sucker. NC1 root sucker. NC1 root sucker. Mango seedling. There's another one over there. It's a seedling. It's a overlease that I bought at the Pawpaw Festival, and I believe the gentleman's name was Ron Powell. I bought that in 2019. The tree was grafted May 24th, 2019. Excuse me for really touching myself, but man, these mosquitoes is bad. Anyhow, getting back to what I was talking about, I do have another tree over there that I had grafted into. It's an overlease. So I've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14 trees out here. I have room for four more, although I'm probably only going to do 3 more out here. Have an empty space there, empty space there, empty space in the far corner. So I have an empty space over by the gate, but I'm not for sure if I'll have enough room to get the mower in here, the zero turn in here to get the work done. If I put a tree right there, it may be in the way. I'll have to venture into that, possibly 4 more. Now this is something that I wanted to share with you. As I said, 2019. I dug that tree up in 2019. I separated it from the mother tree. Therefore, what did I do? I made it an individual tree. And then I turned around and grafted into it 1 year later. And it still remains an individual tree. Wouldn't you agree that that is growing very nicely, that it's doing good? I think it is. And we'll see how well it does as time goes on, as well as these other trees. But I really like the way that that tree has grown, as well as this tree has grown. But I also like the way that this tree has done. But one thing I do want to share with you as far as what I do, I walk through the property every day. I look at all the trees I have grafted, and which, by the way, I just recited to you every tree in this garden without looking at a tag. I know what I have because I'm the one that put them here, and I'm looking at them every day. And I also have a chart that I've made and left into the house. But the one thing that I wanted to point out while I'm standing out here, okay, that's a 2-year-old tree. That's a 5-year-old tree. That's a mango. The one thing I found about the mangoes that I shared in an earlier video is the stems that came up. It's like they got burnt by the cold and died off, but the tree still remained. It still grew out the way I wanted it to. So it is doing very well. I'm pleased with that tree. And I have to say, it's been a journey for me. But compare, if you will. Take a moment and just compare, if you will. 2-year-old tree, 5-year-old. You're not going to get a 2-year-old tree this size from a seedling. A seedling is not going to grow that fast. Root suckers tend to grow more robustly. Now, pawpaws are not the only trees that I grow. I have other types of trees. I've got chestnuts, I've got different varieties of oaks planted throughout my property, and I have some persimmons back beyond that tree line right there that I take care of. But you know, the one thing that really caught my eye about the pawpaw is the root suckers. What do you do with all them root suckers? Well, I chose to do something with them, and you see the results of what I chose to do with them root suckers. And it's amazing. I have plans later on down the road of what it is I want to do as far as pawpaws are considered. Pawpaws are pretty much, in my opinion, possibly opening up the doors for me to have some sort of an offset to go with my retirement, which ain't too far down the road. But by the time I retire, these will all come up. I'll have all these varieties to look at, and I'll be able to collect scion from these varieties, I'll be able to collect fruit and collect cross-pollinated seeds that have been not cross-pollinated, but how would you say it? Natural pollination. There's a whole lot of ideas that I have going on right now as far as these pawpaws are concerned. I may decide to come in here one day and remove all the flowers except for two varieties and leave one of a particular variety alone. Leave the flowers on there and one of a particular variety, leave the flowers on there, and the rest of the varieties do away with and try to hybridize my own pawpaw. These are ideas that are constantly going, and these ideas I share. I learn as I go. I share as I learn. I'm a firm believer in sharing with other folks what I learn. And you know what? I've met some people over the short period of time that I've been dealing with these. Why? Because of how it is that I'm doing this. Pawpaws. Man, they're amazing little trees to deal with. Something different. And they are addicting. They can get away from you if you ain't careful. Anyways, I'm going to go through here and look at the rest of the pawpaws, look at the rest of my trees to see how they're doing, and call it a wrap for tonight because these mosquitoes are really, really bad this evening. My name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. Happy pawpawing.